in accordance with us being cyber work, I want to talk a little bit about your work life here. What do you do as a security architect for Motorola? Can you sort of walk me through your average day of tasks and assignments? You know, for people who are like, I've never heard of what a security architect is. What exactly do you do as a security architect?
Right. So as part of security architect, I play several roles within the same day for my organization. And if I had to give you a high level hierarchy, I would say my roles range from tactical and strategic. So as tactical, for example, an example of a security setup that I'm working on right now is we're bringing up a new instance of a next generation firewall in the cloud environment, and this would reside on a virtual machine scale set, let's say. And then, we're now in the process of we're also in the process of onboarding new applications on this firewall. We have to set up all the routing and routing procedures within the cloud environment. So you can see how the network knowledge comes into the picture, the latest cloud technology comes into the picture. Right. You have to know the firewall as well. And then once you've got the logs coming into the next gen firewall, you also have to route the logs to go in your SIM instance where they will be ingested and processed and indexed. So then we also have the, for example, the Elasticsearch stack coming into the picture where you're, ingesting the logs produced by the firewall ultimately. In the firewall, if you want advanced features, you're doing SSL decryption. So a lot of technologies come into play. Mm-hmm. And so my tactical work would include sitting down and not just designing this architecture, putting it down on paper. Okay, well, this is what the flow is going to look like. This is where we'll collect the logs. This is where the logs are going to go. Yep. But also, we believe in walking, we call it walk the walk as well. You can't just design the blueprint and then give it to somebody else to implement. You have to then sit down and try to implement it. And when you try to implement it, you come across these little issues that you never thought about when you were designing at a higher level. Right. And so then, you don't just leave it to the DevOps engineers. You actually realize the struggle they go through when they're implementing something that you designed at a higher level. Yeah. So
seeing the flaws before they do.
That's right. Yeah. And so we work side by side with DevOps engineers. At this point, we've designed the blueprint, but we also will take the tools and now start hammering away at this, on this build. So that kind of work can get really tactical. On the other hand, I also play a strategic role where, and this is more of the design component. So this is more architecture. Within the constraints of our environments and the technology that is available today, what is the best series of solutions to a problem we're facing? Mm-hmm. And when you implement this and when you're thinking about this, what is the long-term impacts of the solution you're proposing? Because you can't just think about what's going to happen today, but you also have to think about strategically about what's going to happen in a year or 2 years from now. Right. You direct, for example, you're trying to direct the huge volume of firewall logs at on an event hub's instance that will buckle under pressure at some point, right? So, not right now maybe, but somewhere down the line as they're onboarding more applications. So you have to think about the long-term impacts of your solution as well. It's important not to get pigeonholed when considering the solution to a problem. And so think not just of your team and the problem at hand, but how would the solution affect other teams and the organization as a whole? So that's more of a strategic role. And some of the other examples would be like I also get involved in purchase decisions. If considering the purchase of future technologies. So there's business teams that will get involved in these discussions as well. But while they might be considering pricing and other things, you still have to keep focus on the technology. Is there really quality technology there? And then you have to identify those elements as well, so that everything goes smoothly somewhere down the line. So those are some of the tasks that I do as part of security architecture.
New episodes of Cyberwork are available every Monday at 1 p.m. Central. And don't forget to claim your free month of Infosec skills. Sign up using the code CYBERWORK and you'll get unlimited access to hundreds of courses, hands-on labs, certification practice exams, skills assessments, and more. Use code CYBERWORK for Infosec skills.